Hey everybody, how's it going? Andrew and Donovan here. Welcome to today's Facebook Live. So today I am sporting Intune. That is my oil of choice. And actually, for this Facebook Live today, I invite you to go get an oil that will help you concentrate. Get an oil that helps you move a little bit out of your comfort zone, because today we're not going to be in your comfort zone. Unless you have some kind of sales background, then you might be comfortable. But for everybody else, I need you focused, I want you grounded, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. Normally on these Facebook Lives we do a lot of mindset stuff. Today I want to do some very specific skills training. Hey guys, good to see you, Nova, good to see you, thanks for hopping on here. By the way, do you love this blend? I actually saw someone's little video on Facebook today about Intune, and I thought, I gotta use that. And I haven't used this in probably weeks and weeks, and that is a good blend. Levon, hi from Wyoming. Good to see you. Okay, so as you guys are hopping on, this Facebook Live, why did we choose? Why are we going to talk about sales skills today? Sales is everything. Sales is just part of life. Sales is definitely part of our business. And in doTERRA, we usually use the word enroll, and it's still sales. Hi from Ithaca, says Samantha. Good to see you, Aaron. So you guys, as you're hopping on here, would you write in the comments? I want you to type out what your feelings are about sales. Tell me how you feel about sales in general. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if product isn't moving, there's no business here in doTERRA, right? If product isn't moving, then there's no money to be made. So while you guys are typing out your feelings about sales, and for those of you guys that are just hopping on, I want you to write in the comments. Tell me, just be really blunt with me. Tell me how you feel about sales. As you're typing those comments, Kate says scared. Thanks for being honest. Thanks for being the first one, Kate. Good to see you, Amy. I had a conversation with one of the newer builders on my team yesterday, and it was a really good talk. So she messaged and she said that she was frustrated because she's not making any money. Her words were, she said, the promise that I saw in this business isn't coming true, and her investment through her own LRP order each month is exceeding what she's making, and so she said it's putting a little bit of stress on her financially. And so, do you guys remember the 3 things that we do in doTERRA? There's really fundamentally just 3 things. One, we share doTERRA with people who need it, right? We enroll customers and builders, and we teach builders to do the same thing. That's like your 1, 2, 3 step formula to success. And you just do that over and over and over and over and over again. Well, so number 1, almost everybody does that, share doTERRA, right? We post about it on Instagram, and we share samples, and we give drops of oil to our friends at the park and at family functions and at church parties and whatever else. And this girl, I saw her and a small handful of people that are her builders, and they were all doing number 1. Everyone was sharing oils. Everybody had stories about what they liked about, stories about people who liked the oils. But nobody was doing number 2, enroll customers and builders. And so I had to sit down with her, and I had to help her understand, you're not making money because product isn't moving. No one gets paid by sharing oils. So if you're not, okay, so that was the story, and that's what spurred on this conversation. So let me see what you guys are saying here. Okay, Samantha says, I love sales. My degree is in management and marketing. I love network marketing. Samantha, good for you. I love that. Okay, hi from Toronto, Nikki. Okay, Mary says, scary, I feel inadequate. Hi, Kimberly. Aaron, I feel a little unsure. I still feel like I'm bugging people. Good. Courtney, I've had so many people try to sell me stuff that it automatically leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth, like you care more about making money than the person. doTERRA doesn't make me feel it. Okay, that's good, and I'm glad that you're being so clear there, Courtney. Hey, Diana, good to see you. Okay, Ben and Jane, I hate the feeling of being pushed by other sales reps from other companies, so I don't ever want to make people feel that way. Sales are icky, says Nikki. I always think of pushy salespeople whenever I hear sales. Levon, I want my friends to have these products. How can I get them to love them without sounding salesy? Okay, Eliza, here in Poland, sales are not easy. Let's see, Natasha, training. Oh, hey, Natasha, thanks for sharing the video. I appreciate that. And Diana, I try not to be pushy with those that I have sampled. Really good. Okay, do you guys want to learn some sales skills? Here's why I'm asking you that question. If you have some skills, usually in a certain area, it's not scary, okay? For those of you guys that say you feel inadequate, you feel scared, you feel sales are daunting or whatever, if you have some basic, finely polished skills, you're usually more confident. That's just how it goes. Dana says, yes, please. Let's see, Kimberly, how do I go from sharing to selling without being pushy? Sarah says, after sales training, I feel so free and open with people, less pressure on me and on them. Oh, that's interesting, Sarah. That's what we're going to do today. And Samantha says, yes, please. More advice is always great. Samantha, I'm not gonna give you advice today. I'm gonna give you some stuff to actually do. Okay, so. A lot of you guys know my story. When I joined doTERRA, I had just come from a 7-year sales training background where I sold alarm systems, solar. I sold door-to-door for many summers. I think it was 6 summers I sold door-to-door. So coming into doTERRA, selling oils was like the easiest thing I'd ever done. And I hit elite in my first 2.5 weeks. And I did it by just going and I just sold 7 people Natural Solutions kits. It was really simple. Gracie says, this is cool. I'm glad you think so. I think that sales are cool too. You guys, so for those of you guys that are saying sales are icky, like Nikki said that, let's set a little bit of a premise here. Okay, let's get our foundation right. First thing to understand about sales, everything is sales. All of life is sales. All your relationships are sales. Everything is sales. Being married is sales. So right behind me is a painting, a new piece of art that I bought, and right in front of me is this gorgeous desk that I just got. And I had to sell my spouse on both of those things. Honey, I want to get a new desk. Here's why. That's sales, okay? You're planning the family reunion, and Aunt Susie wants to go to Wyoming, and you want to go to Heber, Utah. And you say, okay, everyone in the family, this is why we should go to Heber, Utah instead of Wyoming. That's sales, okay? Do you understand that? When you apply for a job, and you sit down for an interview across from the hiring manager, and he says, tell me about your qualifications. You start selling yourself. You say, well, let me tell you about my experience here, my education, da-da-da-da-da. Sales. All of life is sales. If you can let go of that little bug you've got in your brain that says sales are some negative word, pushy, bad, obnoxious, whatever, get rid of that because that's just a perception, okay? Now, some sales are pushy in a negative way. Some sales are really good, you guys. My house is full of stuff that I was sold, and I love it. Like this new MacBook Pro that I got, the guy at Apple helped me pick it out, and I am so pleased with it. And I'm really glad that he helped me pick that out. I also have a new car that I bought. It's a 2017 A4, and the guy, I wasn't even shopping for that car, and the guy sold me on it, and every time I drive my car, I am so pleased. And you know what else? 4 years and 4 months ago, a naturopath in California named Jeanette Franson shared doTERRA with me. She was the 4th person to try to get me to try doTERRA. The first 3 people, they didn't do a very good sales job. She did a great job. She just explained how oils would fit into my already natural lifestyle. And do you know what? I think every time I use my oils, I think, I love these oils. I'm so glad that I have them. And I keep them everywhere. I get sold stuff all the time, and I'm really glad. Now, there's an important thing that I want you to notice about all the examples that I've shared. This is stuff that I want, right? I wanted my car, I wanted my computer, I wanted to use natural things. And so it was very appropriate for people to, Kim says you're riding in style, it's a good car. But it was very appropriate for those people to sell me those things. So my point is that sales are not inherently negative. So that's the first thing I want to throw out the window, okay? Let me catch up on your comments here, you guys. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Susie. Okay, Sarah says, you are in sales. Own it. Get good at it. Don't avoid sales when that's your job. Sarah, thank you for saying that. You guys, this is a business that only makes money when product moves. A product moving is a sale, by definition, right? Someone exchanges dollars for a product. That's a sale. Nobody grows a business. Nobody rank advances. Nobody makes a dime in doTERRA until there is a sale. So Sarah is exactly right. You are in a sales business. So we're gonna really love this, okay? Okay, Natasha says, I am one to not only look for business partners, I don't do sales for oils. I do it all through Facebook. Just reached elite. I am good at presenting the business opportunity. Oh, good for you, Natasha. So but okay, that is sales because you're promoting things through Facebook. It's just like you guys, do you know those RX bars? They're these incredible nutrition bars that have only 5 ingredients and they're all whole foods, all natural. They're awesome. I bought those through Facebook. I've bought like $150 of them in the last month because I eat some, I love them and they're so healthy and they're so delicious. A little Facebook ad popped up on my Facebook and said, try RX bars. And so I type in and order, 2 boxes for $50. And Facebook sells us stuff all the time. In fact, we buy our food through Facebook now. So, Natasha, you're still selling. You're just doing it through Facebook. Let's see. Kelly says, so true, so true, so true. Good, really good point. Your Facebook Lives make so much sense and are inspiring. I'm glad, Kelly. That's great. Okay, so Sonia says, thank you so much. I can't wait to share this with my team. There's a big block in our team. It's 3:15 a.m. in Perth, Australia, and I know I woke up for something. Glad you're here, Sonia. Okay. Natasha, my goals are the same. Preach. Hey, Courtney, good to see you. Okay, so we've got premise number one. Sales are not inherently bad. In fact, some sales are very, very good because that's how things move. That's how we exchange value. That's how we exchange products, right? That's just normal. We have the best products to sell. So let's talk about how we sell. We've already done a lot of Facebook Lives, you guys, about sharing and sampling. You know how I feel about the need to get drops of oil on people's hands, get samples of deep blue onto people, put it in the SS Pro app, Chloe, so that she, your virtual assistant, can follow up with the people you've sampled and teach them how to use it. Now, many of you guys are familiar with the concept that a sale doesn't happen until anywhere between the 4th and 11th interaction. So what does that tell you about sales? That the end sale usually happens more easily if there's been a lot of prep work done. That's why I love how Alicia Edevi teaches sampling, that you give someone a sample of oil, you follow up, and you make sure that they had a wow, this was awesome experience, right? And once they've had a wow, this is awesome experience, then it's very natural to have them take the next step. All of that is prep work. You guys, the sale that happens is actually not a destination. And this is where sometimes I think a lot of the intimidation comes from. So we have it fixed in our head that as soon as I swipe their credit card for that Natural Solutions kit, the sale is done. Well, that's not true, because then what do you after that? Well, they bought a Natural Solutions kit, so you want to make sure they place a 100p VLRP order the next month, because then they get their 100 points, and maybe they'll do a little more, get the free oil of the month, etc., right? So there's another sale after that. The sale is not the destination. It's actually an ongoing process of value exchange. Shall I repeat that? The sale is not a destination. It's actually an ongoing process of value exchange. So let me give you a little bit of an example of a sales process instead of this illusory sales destination, okay? So a sales process looks something like this. I'm in college and I've got a bunch of focus issues, right? So my friend who does doTERRA says, hey, are you open to writing something natural for that? I say yes, and he gives me some Intune because this is great for focus and concentration. He shows me how to use it. He just gave me some value, right? There was a clear exchange too. He said, hey, if I gave you a natural thing that's really good for focus, would you try it and tell me what you think about it? So there was an exchange. If I gave you this, would you do this? And I say yes. So he gives me some Intune, and if he's really smart, he puts me in the app, and the virtual assistant follows up and teaches me how to use it, right? So, although Intune's not a track in the app, but just for an example. So I use this and I experience some value. Well, then he comes back to me after 2 days, just like he said he would, and says, tell me about your experience. And I say, you know, actually it was really nice. It wasn't quite like my Adderall, but it helped me focus more. And so then what does he do? Well, then we're going to have another value exchange. You know, he says, you know, Andrew, if you thought that Intune was awesome, wait until you try some of the other things, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. I've got a whole slew of stuff that could help you just get your brain in alignment and fuel your cells and healthy brain chemistry and really help you with your focus and your studies. And so then he invites me to sit down at a one-on-one with him, okay? Gracie, I'm talking about SS Pro. Her name is Chloe, the virtual assistant. Go to ssproapp.com to find out about that. And so we just did another value exchange. She says, if I could sit down with you over coffee or whatever and teach you a little more about how some of these natural things could really help you get big results, could we spend some time doing that? Value exchange. So we do another value exchange. And then at the actual sit down at the one-on-one, we go to Starbucks and we do another value exchange where he teaches me about maybe 5 to 10 different oils that will help me out with focus and concentration, right? And he gives me little drops of oils and I put them on and I smell them, and he has a class handout that he uses to show me, you know, about the oils and what they do. And that was a value exchange. I just got some knowledge. So this whole time I'm gaining all this value. I gained some value when he gave me a sample and I got to experience it. Wow. I gained some value when he said, I'll take the time to sit down with you and really teach you about how to get results. well, that was some cool value he just brought me. Thank you. And then we actually sit down at Starbucks for a one-on-one, and he teaches me there. You guys, the reason why most of you have insecurities with sales is because you think that you're asking somebody for something, money, without sufficiently and fairly acknowledging the value that you are bringing to them. You understand what I'm saying here? I want you guys, write in the comments, would you write in your comments what kind of value you bring to people? Just go crazy in the comments. I want you to write down all the value that you bring to people as a wellness advocate, okay? Sarah says, Heather Kirk, so good for value exchange and one-on-ones. Oh, she's talking about that. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I want you to blow up the feed here with all the value that you bring to other people. Because a sale is a value exchange. It's a process, and it's all about value exchange. Samantha says she brings education, benefits, help. Natural solutions, says Erica. Diana loves to teach. Well, you know what, Diana? A lot of people love to learn. So that's really good that that's the kind of value that you like to bring. Sarah, education, support, friendship, natural health, team support, financial freedom. Really good. Melissa, my knowledge, my mentorship, access to ongoing classes. That's cool you provide that. Hope, says Trisha. Support, says Lisa. Ben and Jane say hope. Natural solutions, so a lot of repeat things here. Hope is a good one. A lot of people don't have hope. Healthy medicinal alternatives. Fair, Aaron. Let's see, Kelly says helping people with natural health and wellness. Community. Courtney, solutions that could potentially change their life and health. doTERRA radically changed mine, and having the opportunity to share these products with them. Let's see, Nancy says natural solutions that don't have side effects or no chemical products. Gracie, healthy alternatives to medicine that could be dangerous. Support, guidance, confidence. Thanks, Samantha. You guys, this is so valuable. Do you know that I've had experiences, and I have a lot of colleagues that people will spend thousands of dollars just to get some guidance, some coaching. In fact, Jeanette Franson, when she was a mentor or a naturopath, she's in my upline, she used to charge people a starting rate of $250 an hour just to give them advice on their health. And you understand that when you do a one-on-one with someone, you're not a medical expert, but you definitely know some damn good stuff about natural solutions. That's why you're here, right? So when you sit down at a one-on-one with someone at Starbucks, it's not, oh, I hope that they wanna buy oils from me. You have value to bring. You must be fearless with this. You must be so clear on this, you guys. When you sit down with someone, you are giving them immense value. And here's a little bit of advice for some of you newbies, okay? Some of you guys that are just getting into doTERRA. All you have to know is a little bit more than the people you're helping. You don't have to know everything. In fact, you can go study tons of different coaches and people that help entrepreneurs get started. And they don't say you have to be an expert with massive credentials. They say you just need to know a little bit more than the person that you're helping. All right, let's see. Support, empowering others, community, a shoulder. Oh, that's nice, Dwight. And I like that. So Dan says, look it up if you don't know. Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about some actual skills, you guys. I want to talk about just a few things that will really help you. First of all, if you're insecure with sales, there's a book called The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. Again, Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. And I remember when I read this book years ago, he has you do an exercise in the book where he has you list 100 reasons why you want to succeed. And that's about like the why and stuff. But you know what? A similar exercise you could do that's very good is you could write a list of 50 to 100 reasons why you bring value to your customers, to your prospects, why doTERRA brings value. Because the clearer you get on that, the easier it gets to be to ask for a sale. So just some principles here. You guys, people make decisions emotionally, okay? So if you want to step up your sales, start painting pictures, especially if you've taken Strengths Finder 2.0 and you have futuristic in your strengths. That's a really good strength for this. People buy emotionally. So when you're in a class, when you're in a one-on-one setting, when you're just casually talking to somebody at a park or some function, draw the emotion out, okay? So they say that they've had headaches forever. You ask them what it feels like. Ask them, oh my gosh, that probably stinks. Tell me about that. And and they might not have had anyone ever actually listen to them. If you can show how much you care, if you can draw out their story from them, if you can let them talk about it, that usually stirs up some emotion. And people buy emotionally. And they buy emotionally way faster than they buy logically. So an example of logic would be, if you buy the Natural Solutions Kit, you save $202, you get 100 points, and you get 15% Fast Tracks rewards. That's a logical thing, okay? An emotional thing is, okay, so you know when, as a parent, you'll wake up in the middle of the night and your kid's screaming and all of a sudden your heart's racing and you go to the bathroom, you don't have anything for his, for whatever he's waking up screaming from, and you're in a panic and you're thinking, oh my gosh, we have to go to Walgreens. So I have a solution for that. We have this thing called the Natural Solutions Kit, and it's 90% of life's little emergencies in this little wooden box with some really valuable supplements to have. And when things like that happen in our family, I don't worry about that. I don't freak out because I know that it's okay, someone's upset, but I have something safe and natural and effective here. And I don't worry about the side effects. I don't worry about the chemicals. I don't worry whether it's safe for my little guy because I know that it's natural. Do you hear all the words that I just said? I use a lot of feeling words. I don't worry, when you're in a panic, things like that. Okay, so emotional selling is really, really valuable. People justify decisions with facts, so that's why it's good to study the products. It's good to know the value of the kits. Okay, people are egocentric. These are some notes from the psychology of selling that I'm reading off to you guys, okay? So people really like to be important, and that's why I think that the healer in your own home is that's a very authentic message. It also plays to people's ego a little bit, like, take your power back. Take the power back into your hands for your family's health and wellness instead of giving it to the pharmaceutical companies, right? People look for value. People think in terms of people. And so that's where, especially if you're dealing with a family, you guys, someone might not be willing to spend money on themselves, but they would be willing to spend money on their spouse or their child. And that's why I love the family message in doTERRA. That's why I say, that Natural Solutions Kit, that's literally your family's natural medicine cabinet. Of course, I'm saying some non-compliant words right now. Hopefully compliance doesn't read, so watch this Facebook Live. Okay, let's get into the pushiness, you guys. Because the next tip that I have is that you can't force people to do anything. So how do you actually close a sale without being forceful? Well, this is actually really, really easy. So I practice a thing called permission-based selling. I don't do anything without permission, with the exception of a few relationships. Sometimes we have relationships where it's your best friend or your sister, and you can say, oh, listen up, okay? You've been complaining about this health issue for years, and I want you to try this, and it's gonna work, okay? Sometimes you can do that with people. Most of the time, you have to have a very certain level of social credibility to be able to pull that off. But for most of our relationships, permission-based selling is the easiest way to sell, and it's very, very effective. So some of you guys probably feel uncomfortable sharing samples with people. I don't, and the reason why is because when I'm at a party and someone tells me that they have really low energy, I don't say, oh my gosh, you have to try peppermint. I say, whoa, I know what that's like. This might sound weird, but are you open to trying natural things for your energy issue? And they always say yes, but I don't ever feel pushy because I ask for permission. Do you understand that? So, same thing with the end of the class. You guys, if you have not studied the 6 keys to close, you can find them in the video library of the SS Pro app of Chloe. They're also on Share Success's launch webpage, and they are wonderful. It's a great example of permission-based selling. So this is how I close all of my sales now. You guys, let's say that I'm in a class setting and I've been teaching, I've taught the whole class, I've taught at the end about the enrollment options, retail versus wholesale, $35 versus a kit, okay? And now I go and I sit down on the floor next to the first person. I go to the most open person in the room, okay? I look for the person that's most ready to buy, that was most engaged, asking the most questions, giving the most positive feedback. And I say, okay, so what are you working on health-wise? And I look at their top 3 health priorities, and because I want to know what they care about, okay? So that was my first question. And then the second question is I say, oh, by the way, with that first question, we match up every possible solution to their health priorities. So I open up the Essential Life book or whatever oil reference you use, and we figure out, okay, so head tension, well, and we write down everything that they might use, past tense, peppermint, whatever, deep blue, aroma touch, all of those things. And we do that for their top 3 health priorities. Then you look at them right in the eyes and you say, so just tell me honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about addressing these things right now? How serious are you about addressing these things right now? And this is where they get to give the ultimate permission to move forward. So you guys, when you ask this question, all that ickiness in your chest, if you're like, are they gonna say yes? It goes away. It just goes away, because you're not worried about them selling. You want to know what's best for them. Okay, so you say, how serious are you? And you know, their answer will tell you what to do. They might say, I'm like a 4 out of 10. I'm not that serious. Okay, well now you know. You're not gonna say you should get the every oil kit, because that's not where they are, right? You might say, you know what, if that's where you are, you might want to just pay the $35 and pick out a couple oils to start with and try it out. Or, you know, if you're feeling a little bit adventurous, start with the Family Essentials kit, because it has the basic 10 most important oils, 7 of these oils that help with your 3 things that you just wrote down, and it'd be a good place to start. Okay? The third thing that you say is, if I were you, I would. And this is where you create a little bit of sympathy. The wording is very important. If I were you, meaning I'm seeing things from your perspective. I'm putting myself in your shoes. If I were you and I were only 4 out of 10, serious, and I had these 3 health priorities, this is what I would do. Okay? They might say, you know what, I would do anything. I'm a 10 out of 10. Well, that's where I would say, you know what, if I were you, I would start with the Natural Solutions kit, because it's going to do blah, 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 blah for you. It'd give you all this value and all these benefits. Excuse me. And those are the 3 things that I use to close everybody. And it's super, super effective. And they don't feel like they're being sold, because it's all about them. Do you understand the difference here? Okay, let's see what you guys are writing in the comments here. Gracie says, even if we are aware of what we are sharing with others versus selling in the negative term, how do you deal with the stigma of selling to others? Gracie, there's only a stigma if you have a stigma that you bring to the situation. The reason why I'm saying that is because I don't think that people are naturally looking around thinking, who's going to sell something to me today? Who's going to try to sell me stuff today? You know, with their defenses up. That's not what they're doing. People are walking around every day worrying about their own crap. That's what they're doing. They're driving their car, worrying about their little girl's acne that she's complaining about because she has prom next week and it won't go away. They're driving around worrying about their self-esteem. They're driving around thinking about the neighbor that was rude this morning. They're not walking around thinking, oh no, is Gracie going to try to sell me something today? That's not what they're thinking about, okay? And the reason why they even told you about their health priority to begin with is because they're worried about themselves. They're not worried about you trying to sell something. You're worried about you trying to sell something. So stop trying to sell stuff, you guys, and start being very comfortable with bringing value and then letting people give value in exchange. Does that make sense, Gracie? Let's see. Oh, Kathy says she truly cares. That's really good. Hey, Jess, good to see you. Let's see. Can't watch with the full video on replay. Good. So I love those. I love those questions to close, you guys. I love permission-based sales. And sales, if you can get so comfortable, if you can just learn to love sales, that's the biggest thing, Gracie. If you can learn to love sales. And basically the way that you do that is you would learn to exchange the word sales for value exchange in your head. And you understand that they're one and the same thing from here forward, because that's your attitude, that's your approach with people. Okay? Remember, nothing happens in this business until a sale happens. At the same time, nothing happens in this business until somebody perceives some value exchange. Do you get that? So, because you know how some people get really defensive when we talk about, you know, other companies, Young Living, Mayo, whatever, versus doTERRA, and you have to pull out your big guns and talk all about why our oils are better. So I don't do that, because I'm so confident in the value that our products have. Literally, I feel so confident with them. And I also know that thanks to our sales data, I don't have to defend it, because, you know, company X is a 28-year-old company that just hit $1 billion, and we're a 9-year-old company that's worth over $2 billion. So the sales numbers say which product is moving faster, which product people want more. I don't have to defend it. Numbers don't have a story. Okay, Gracie says it does make sense, but I guess I meant more on social media. But I do realize I need to focus on my own mentality too. Oh, that's really great, because some of you guys are selling on social media. Okay, so those of you guys that are saying that you feel self-conscious when you're selling, there's this thing called prostituting your product. And a lot of people in doTERRA do this. And I hope that if you're watching this video, you're going to learn to stop doing it, okay? Prostituting your product looks like this. you post on your personal Facebook profile page, oh my gosh, Intune is on sale this month, 10% off. And then the next day, who has tummy troubles? PM me if you're interested in Terrazyme. And then the next day you put in, you prostitute your product. You ask for things before you bring enough value to the table. Do you understand what I'm saying here? There's actually a rule with social media, you guys, that only 1 out of every 10 posts should ask somebody for something. You think of it like a piggy bank, okay? If all you do is withdraw from the piggy bank, pretty soon the piggy bank will be empty. And then, then that's gonna look stupid that you're always trying to pull something out of an empty piggy bank. But if you deposit, withdraw, deposit, withdraw, then it's a transactional experience that makes sense. So on my personal social media, you guys, you actually can look on my Facebook. I promoted doTERRA asking for sales once in 4 years and 4 months. It was last month actually. And because I had spent so much time making deposits that when I wanted to make a very big withdrawal to the tune of thousands and thousands of PV to hit a rank, it worked. But it's because I deposited a lot. I brought a lot of value. So I see, you guys, I've seen a lot of really, really sad social media sales efforts where you're not bringing value, you're just asking people for stuff. Every time you say, you post on social media and you say, who wants to cash in on this BOGO, or who wants to cash in on this 10% off deal or whatever, that's asking for something from somebody else. But if you haven't made sufficient deposits beforehand, it's an ineffective transaction. So, Gracie, does that answer your question a little bit there? She says, yes, I love hearing this. Thank you. Good. Okay. So, what kinds of things are deposits? Gracie, that's a really great question. If you go on Facebook, there's a doTERRA page called, I think it's Essential Oil Me Jen is the name of the Facebook page. It's Jen Courtier. It's Essential Oil Me Jen, and I don't know how she came up with that name, but it's she has 120 something thousand likes on it, and you can see that she does value posts. She says, here's the diffuser recipe, here's my favorite tip about this thing, here's my favorite tip about this, and it's all about doTERRA, but she does tons of value add before she ever says, I have a special going on if you get a Home Essentials kit this week. And she asks people to enroll to buy from her, but only after she's doing that. That's social media, you guys. So that's just a little bit. And you guys, there are some programs online that are all about social media. I'm not going to spend a lot of time there because most of us don't build doTERRA through social media. So what I want you guys to take away from this is when you can get very comfortable with sales, okay, you can sell people things anywhere. It doesn't have to be a specific long drawn out process. Now, I want you to spend some time this week getting very clear on what you want your sales processes to look like though, because everybody's is different. One mistake that I think we make is sometimes we'll look at something like the launch guide, right? And there's a sales process laid out in the launch guide. Do you remember what it is? It's write 100 names. First is learn about the product and use the product. Then write 100 names, distill the 100 names down to 45 names, invite those 45 people to a class, teach 4 classes, enroll 15 people out of the 45 people, okay? So that's a sales process, it's a sales funnel, and that works for some people. That doesn't work for some people as well. It's different for everybody. So my sales process, you guys, in my business is very different. You guys know, those of you that have followed me for a little while, you know that I set a standard for myself last year. I said I will enroll a few customers in one builder every month after reading the book Beach Money by Jordan Adler. And I held myself to that, and I've done it every single month, except in December my spouse enrolled a couple of people and I counted those as mine. But same thing, because we're the same business. And my sales process, I don't sample people and invite them to classes. In fact, the last time I held my own class was probably 3 years ago, because it's just not me, right? But what is my process is taking people to Starbucks and sitting down over coffee and talking about their health needs. And so it's really great. In fact, I just enrolled a couple of people last week doing the same kind of thing, where someone says, I'm at some social function, they have some health need come up in conversation, and I ask, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, are you open to using something natural for that? They say yes. I say, let me give you something, and I go out and grab an oil from my car, and I say, try a drop of this, it's amazing, you'll love it. And they see it, and they're impressed with it, and then I say, well, why don't we talk some more? Okay, let's see. Melinda says she's at coffee shops all day. Good for you. Okay. Grace says, I like what you're talking about now too. It's hard for me to feel comfortable in classes teaching. Oh, you know what, Gracie, if classes aren't your thing, then see if one-on-ones are your thing. And if those aren't your thing, then see if webinars are your thing. And if that's not your thing, then see if Facebook events are your thing. There's some kind of sales scenario where you'll be really comfortable. Let's see. Sarah says, do you always sample first before asking for a one-on-one? Sarah, no, I don't always, but I want to every time that's possible. The reason why is because the more prep work that you do before the actual close of the sale, the easier it tends to be, right? Samantha says she loves one-on-ones. If you can give somebody a wow, that was awesome experience with an oil, you know, not just a, oh, that smells okay. If you give them a wow experience, then when you actually have them come to your class or your one-on-one, they're usually not there to see if they want doTERRA, they're usually there to see what they want from doTERRA. Does that make sense to you? So, as we talk about this idea of exposures, you guys, that's part of why I love using our virtual assistant Chloe, the SS Pro app, so much. Because she gives extra exposures that don't take up your time because she does it for you from your phone. And I found that the more exposures, remember that, we talked about this at the beginning, 4 to 11 exposures, depending on whose sales training you're looking at, before the sale usually happens. And so if I can give someone a deep blue sample and then tell Chloe, my virtual assistant, in the app to follow up, and she says, hey, it's Andrew, here's my favorite way to use deep blue, then the next day, here's another way to use deep blue, just so you have a couple ways to use it. And then that's 2 exposures already that I didn't have to do, and that increases the likelihood of an actual transaction happening. Okay, let's see. One-on-ones are hard for me. I like classes. Good for you, Diana. Do classes. Classes are more efficient because you can, you know, teach a whole bunch of people and enroll them all at once. Kelly says, could you share the name of the book? Beach Money. The sales book is The Psychology of Selling. So let's see. Melissa says, is SS Pro like Synduit? We have Synduit. They're very, very different and do totally different things. If you want to learn about SS Pro, Melissa, go to ssproapp.com. And if you go to the SS Pro Facebook forum, Melissa, I did a video about the difference between that and all the other things. So do you guys have any other last questions before we hop off of here about sales? Just to recap as you're typing any questions, first we've got to reestablish your understanding of what sales are. Let go of this idea that a sale is a bad thing. Let go of the idea that people don't like to be sold to. Your entire life is full of stuff that people sold you. Are you bitter that you have all that stuff, right? The stuff that you wanted? No, of course not. You've got to reestablish the premise that sales are a beautiful thing. Sales are just a value exchange process. Sales is an opportunity for you to bring more value to other people's lives, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is practice permission-based selling. So if you feel like you're being pushy, start asking for permission, okay? Start asking, would you be okay if I gave you some suggestions for that? Or would you be open to using something natural for that? Or if they've already been learning about oils, you know, like, would you be open to finding a protocol to help you with that health thing that would really get some results? Tiffany, we're working on it, thanks. So second, permission-based sales, okay? And then third, do more prep work, do more interactions, use a virtual assistant to do follow-up with samples and things like that. But more prep work before the actual transaction happens makes the transaction much, much easier, okay? So that's why I love to give people samples and then find out how it went. You know, that's why we've done really good that's why we've done some great sampling things. Let's see here. Erin says she got it because of me. Okay, cool. Yeah, Beach Money is wonderful. You should get a certain percentage of the sales. You guys, so here's a fun little thing about sales facts, okay? Sometimes people know their numbers really well. Like they'll know, I close 7 out of 10 people. I close 70% of people at my classes. But what you can do then is you can go and start polishing your sales skills, and then your closing percentage goes up. And then you say, I close 80% of people in my classes. When I started doing those keys to close, the 6 keys to close, my closing percentage went it went up really, really fast. And it's because I started practicing that invaluable permission-based selling. And I love those questions now, and I love that it takes the pressure off of me. You guys, you know, I had a little epiphany the other day. We've talked about some skill stuff, and I'm going to go to some mindset stuff for just a second. I had an epiphany a few months ago that I was walking down the street and I just realized that I was carrying this belief that I was a burden to other people. I was carrying a belief that that I wasn't wanted, and that and some of you guys that are saying you feel pushy, I think that maybe some of you mean that you feel like you have to push yourself onto other people so that they'll listen to you and maybe want to try your essential oil and maybe buy it. And I realized this, and I thought, just in an instant, I realized that's not true. I have so much value to bring, and people are looking for value. People are looking for value. And I want you to take that away. And I want you to share this with your team too, you guys. I want you to remember that people are looking for value, and they're looking for the value that you have to offer, okay? So instead of, you guys can go look online, and you can see the people that are promoting doTERRA on Facebook very ineffectively, that are saying, buy from me, do you want this, and you can see that the only people that like and comment on their posts are their mom and their upline, and that's a very good example of how to not sell, because no sales are happening from that, so stop doing it, right? And then you can go and you can look at people that are really good at sharing samples and enrolling people. And some people came to doTERRA with sales skills. Some of us have to just go and deliberately develop some sales skills. If you need to go buy the book, The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy, and just read it, you guys, and build some sales skills, I promise you that your confidence will skyrocket, because you're in a sales-based business. But it's not just for doTERRA though. I mean, you guys, doTERRA might be in your life for the next 15 years, and it might be in your life for the next 35 years, and along the way you're going to have other opportunities to sell, whether it's selling your spouse on the new couch, or selling a business partner on a new idea, or whatever it is. And you're going to want some sales skills. So I hope you take this away. I hope you've got a little bit of a paradigm shift with the word sales, okay? I hope that I've convinced you of the need to use permission-based selling, and I hope I've convinced you of the need to have more interactions and use a virtual assistant. Use that Chloe, the SS Pro app, Chloe, because that's the smartest way to gain more interactions. I hope I've convinced you of those things, because they definitely help me. I don't do much, you guys, for my personal enrollments. In my own business, that standard, I enroll a few customers in one builder a month. I don't really go to my names list and say, who can I sell this month? Like, it's just, I'm in such a rhythm of letting value exchange happen in my everyday life that the enrollments, they just happen now. They really do. In fact, one of the enrollments last week was a friend that just messaged and said, can you help me pick out a doTERRA kit? And then she picked out the family wellness kit, which is that $275 kit. And then another enrollment that happened last week was a friend that just picked out a natural solutions kit himself. But this is someone that had been hanging out at our house. He'd seen our essential oils. He had seen us using it, seen us diffusing it. When he had asked questions, I wouldn't try to sell him stuff. I just offer value to his question that he asked. And then he enrolled himself with a natural solutions kit. I didn't even enroll him. I saw it on the back office, and he told me that he was at doTERRA picking it up. And I'm like, what? And anyway, but those things, they just happen because we're in such a rhythm of bringing value to people. Okay, so those of you guys that aren't experiencing enrollments, that's where you start. Okay, value exchange. And with your downlines, you guys, have you ever done the math to see how much your business would grow if you enrolled a few customers in a builder a month, and you taught your builders to do the same thing? First of all, imagine that you did that yourself, okay? You practice sales enough to enroll a few customers in one builder a month. And that's your standard every month. Some months you'll do a little more, some months you might miss the mark, whatever, but that's the average. If you did that for 2 years, it would be statistically almost impossible to not be a gold or higher, more likely like a platinum or a diamond. If you did that straight every month for 2 years, okay? A few customers in a builder a month. I do that in 2 hours a week or less. It's not very much time at all, okay? Now, I do invest more time in my doTERRA business doing other things, of course, but for my own personal enrollments, and that's the most crucial thing that you can manage in your own business, because those are your own numbers. And then what do you do with your builders? You teach them the same thing. Let me help you get in a rhythm of just getting your own enrollments every month, and just make that a normal thing. You know what? Life's going to get busy sometimes. Thanksgiving's going to happen in November every year, and Christmas is going to happen in December every year, and we all know that family comes into town during certain times of the year. Life's going to happen, But if I can help you get in an enrolling groove where you practice your own sales every month, you enroll a few customers in a builder every month. If you did that, you guys, the team growth would be astronomical. And so, but you get to start with you though. You have to start with yourself. Does that, of course you understand that. So let's see, any other things, love these strategies. Let's see, Monique says, have you ever had a client that you have sampled several things to and talked with them about what you sampled and they never used it, or they used it and they kind of blew you off? Monique, I would leave that person alone. I would write in my, I would get out my positive aspects, my gratitude journal, and I would write in big letters, I am so grateful for people who approach me and want to change their own lives. And I would move on to the next person, Monique, because I'm not here to pull people through the mud. I'm here to work with people who are really eager for change. So, and yeah, I have had that, Monique. Move on to the next person. And Monique, I've had those people come back to me 2 years later and buy stuff. And I've also had those people go buy stuff from someone else eventually. If you have a negative emotion about it, there's an unhealthy attachment there, Monique, and you want your business to be something that feels very good. So you need to go to a different space, at least for a short time. Okay, Kelsey says, when you're starting out and you don't have all the oils, what do you do when you're running into someone who could use a sample of something you don't have? Kelsey, you ask your upline if you could get some from your upline. That's what you do. I love it when my builders come to me and they say, hey, in fact, I have a girl that's going for silver this month. She wants to be a silver at convention, and she said she really wants it. She said she wants to focus on the Cleanser Restore Kit this month because she's got a big community that would love the cleanse. And she said, could you help me with an incentive? And so, yeah, we pulled out some oils to help her with an incentive. So we said, you enroll with this and we'll give them that oil for free. As far as sampling goes, same thing. Your upline wants you to succeed, and your upline makes more money when you make more money. So go ask your upline for some samples if you need some samples. Also, you guys, use your LRP points to get more oils to sample out. Okay, I'm glad that Kelsey brought that up, because sometimes I have builders, a younger builder, that will say, boy, I don't know if I could buy $150 every month. You need to buy $150 every month because you need that product to give people. You need that product to sample out, you guys. That's crucial. I remember when I started doTERRA, I bought a natural solutions kit. That only came with, back then, I think it was 13 oils, something like that, 14. And now it has even fewer because they increased the bottle size. And so I would use my LRP every month to try new products so that I could have things on hand to sample out to people. Okay. Monique, how long do you keep trying before you move on? You keep trying as long as it feels positive, Monique. As soon as it feels negative, you're in the wrong space. And you might only have to step out for an hour before you can come back to a positive emotion. But Monique, if you feel a negative emotion, you're not going to help them, and you're not helping yourself either, okay? So that's very important too. Let's see. Maud says, it's all about perception, especially mine. Absolutely. Sarah, in your business and in our own lives and past, not a burden. Yeah, good words. Let's see. Paula, where are the 6 keys to close located in the app? Oh, good question. In the video library, Paula. In the video library under launch, there's a video called Keys to Close. Go watch that. It's a wonderful video. Patricia, the author's name. I've mentioned 2 books in this Facebook Live, Patricia. One is Beach Money by Jordan Adler, and that's about network marketing. Incredible. And the second is Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. And Dwight, you've sold me. Good, I'm glad you're sold. Let's see. Aaron, because you're very wise in the ways of law of attraction. Thank you. Let's see. Sarah, you can still do a one-on-one without samples too. The value is still there. Oh, I've done tons of those. Absolutely. Sarah, I'm glad you said that. I've enrolled plenty of people without sampling beforehand. It's just the sample usually sets it up really, really well. That's all. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, you guys, some sales training will teach you that you don't have to have this huge string of interactions. When you start developing your sales skills, sometimes you can get to the point, I'm to the point where I don't have to have, let me sample, call you in 2 days, text you 4 hours later, text you 8 hours after that, then meet you here, then meet you there, and then ask you to enroll. I've gotten to the point where my sales skills are a lot more fine-tuned, and so I can just enroll someone a lot faster than that, depending on the person and my relationship with them. But you'll develop your sales skills. Okay, Kelsey, what if the upline is not local? I'd love to chat about joining a team that's on Facebook versus a local team? Kelsey, my upline is close to me now, but for my first almost 4 years in doTERRA, she lives in Texas, and my upline lived in California, and I was in Utah. So you don't need your upline to be local. That's not going to hold you back at all. There's lots of people in the company. That's impossible to keep all the team local, because your network will spread over the years, and you'll be all over the country, if not the planet, within a short time. As long as the enrollments keep happening, right? So if someone's not local, you get them on the phone and say, I really want to sample some of these out. Would you consider maybe making a bag of samples and sending them to me, and I will give them out to people. I will get these oils onto people's bodies. If someone called me up and said that to me, I would jump on it, Kelsey. If someone called me up and said, I'm working really hard in doTERRA, and I think you should give me some free stuff, I would think, yeah, the hell I will, right? But if they called me up and said, I need some product and I don't have as much because I'm newer and I really want to sample more, and I just don't have the means to buy every oil right now, do you think you could help me out? Because if you could send me some samples, I will give them out as fast as possible. I want to enroll 10 people this month, and I need samples to give 20 people so I can enroll 10 people. Could you help me? No upline would not jump at that unless they're crazy. Okay, Gracie says, trading skills for work with oils. My upline has helped me build my collection as a new builder. That's really good. Trade your skills for some oils. Really great. Yeah, offer some value there. Patricia, we need to be taking our LLV. Yeah, Kelsey says, sweet. Good. All right, you guys, I think it's time to wrap this up. This has been a great discussion. I'm so glad. I'll hop in the comments and comment later. Please share this with your teams. A quick shout out. Don't push stop yet. You guys, if you're coming to convention, you need to register for the Success Summit the day before. Convention's the big vision. The Success Summit is the business training. And it's not a Share Success event this year. It's a company-wide event. It's being hosted by Eric Larson, Justin Harrison, the master distributors. It's going to be so good. And there's only 3,000 tickets available. And a lot of people didn't even know about it, so they're going to sell out now that marketing's in full swing. So get your ticket. Go to successsummit2017.org. One more time, successsummit2017.org, O-R-G. And you want to get a ticket for that. Those of you guys that are still asking about the app, it's ssproapp.com. Okay, that's not managed by Share Success, so don't message Share Success about that. It's a totally different group, and that's the virtual assistant Chloe that I was talking about. She will make your life genius. Tori, will there be a shuttle to the pre-event? No. You can take tracks though, the train, and it drops you off right in front of the event, and it's very fast in the cheapest transportation. Good question, Tori. So, all right, guys, thanks for being on here with me. Mwah, love you lots, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.